Himani, you are welcome to this program, Success Speaks.
Thank you, sir.
And a lot of congratulations to you that you have finally succeeded in Civil Service Examination 2021 and have scored also. And you have secured All India 160 rank. And you're going for IRS IT. You have been allocated. Your story, I'm sure, is going to be very interesting for the audience and the future aspirants because you went through all the 6 attempts and every second attempt had very challenging result for you. Like in the first attempt, you went up to interview. Second attempt, you could not qualify pre. Third time, you went for again interview. Fourth attempt, no pre. Again, you went to interview. Fifth, no pre. And sixth, finally, you are here. So alternate, and that too about the pre, right? But before we begin this journey, a bit of background, your family background will help the audience to understand about you and also your educational background.
So I am a resident of Delhi. I was born and brought up in Delhi. Then I have done my graduation in economics from Hansraj College, Delhi University. And post that, I also did masters in economics from IGNOU. And presently, I'm pursuing a master's program from TIS Mumbai. And my father is a retired government servant, and my mother is a homemaker. And my family has been a constant throughout my journey, and they have been a very supporting force throughout it.
It's a very long journey. Which year you started first in this exam?
So I started in 2015. At that time only I graduated, and I took coaching for 1 year, and then 2016 I gave first prelims.
Himani, there is a proverb, failures are pillars of success. This applies very aptly on you, correct? And I think many people who fear failures, your journey and your experience will help them a lot, right? You attempt all 6 attempts, 3 attempts you could not qualify pre, that alternatively. And on the 3 attempts you went to interview again alternatively. So what would you like to share with the audience out of your experience which helped you to manage with your failures and you ultimately are successful here?
So I think throughout the journey, it is very important that you keep up your morale and your motivation. Again, it is very important that you stay with the right kind of people who are actually, supporting you, motivating you, rather than putting you down and, asking you a lot of questions why you have not been able to clear and this and that, or let's get married because you're not able to clear. So I ensured that throughout my journey, I had a very positive and constant support with me, whether it was in terms of my family or my friends. So I think that was very important. So maintaining a bit of calmness, positive mindset, that really helps to ace this journey even after 6 attempts.
How to remain motivated is really a question for most of the candidates in their journey, and in your case especially, it is superb how you have maintained. So how much you played role and how much your family members and friends helped you in this direction?
So I feel that definitely greater role was of my family and friends, because whenever I was not able to make myself get into the list, or I was not able to clear prelims, I was definitely very disheartened. But at that time also, my parents and my friends always, they used to support me, and they used to say that you have it in you, you'll definitely clear one day or the other. And still at the same time, I feel they also said that even if I do not clear, I will do something good in my life. I have that potential. So I think their role was much greater than what I was. So definitely I tried to maintain a positive mindset, but at some point of time it gets so disheartening and it gets so depressing that they were the ones who actually supported me.
See, especially in a place like Delhi, when you have a lot of other opportunity to do, definitely many of your friends might have joined some jobs, they might be doing business. It's not like a place in Bihar or UP or any place where employment is lacking. But everything kept you going. That is really very important. Unless you are very focused about your goal and your determination that I want only and only this, you cannot go that way, right? So did you also face some challenges from your peer groups and your friends that they were asking you that you should leave it and join any job and other enterprising activities, right? Did you face that thing?
So as I said that I was interacting with very few friends and family at that time. Definitely, there was some pressure. I, along with UPSC, I gave many other exams so that I have some other job as well. So throughout this journey, I was not even having a job. I was unemployed throughout. So that was definitely a challenge. There was some pressure as well, and I therefore kept giving other exams as well. But somehow there was a constant motivation in my mind that this is something I really look myself in the future, and I feel that this is something I really wanted to do. And again, because in every alternative attempt I was giving interview, that is also a constant source of motivation that maybe someday I might clear.
Right, but it's very appreciable that you have been maintaining, and finally you are here. Have become IRS IT officer, income tax, the service you are getting in IRS. That is very good for that. Anyway, now with all compliments to you and a lot of kudos to you for getting this success, let's begin our discussion how you can help with your experience to the future aspirants, right? See, if you take into account the entire journey, and your understanding, so for any future aspirant, what would you like to suggest? How to start well for this examination that you can qualify for pre-mains and interview maybe in the first attempt and coming initial attempt? How would you like to suggest that?
So I think first of all, sticking to the syllabus is very important to start with, because this exam is something which has lot of study material. There are so many coaching institutes which are, everyone is telling a different thing, but I feel that sticking to the syllabus and then maintaining simple and proper notes on every topic of the syllabus is very important. That is the first point. Then secondly, revising and revising the notes that you have prepared. Then taking mock tests, that also helps a lot, and that was one of the very big mistake that I did in my first attempt, and therefore I was not able to clear prelims. So I feel that taking mock tests is also very important for prelims, mains, as well as the interview stage. That will definitely help. And I think again the thing is that everyone knows that what needs to be done, but implementing it, keeping yourself into that discipline mode and implementing everything that is required will definitely help an aspirant to clear as soon as possible.
Very good. Newspaper plays very important role in all the preparation, and especially because you have to correlate things with the current affairs, right? But for students, normally it becomes difficult to find out what is relevant in newspaper and what is not relevant in that way. So, with your experience, what will you like to suggest how to read a newspaper?
So, yes, I feel that you're right. Initially, I also used to find it very difficult to identify what is right or wrong, and I used to spend almost 3 hours on newspaper itself. So, I feel that first of all, as I said, identify the syllabus. I identify all the topics which are there in, let's say, the 4 GS papers or the optional papers, and then try to map those topics with the syllabus news. So if there is maybe a news coming on international relations, try to map it to the GS2 topic where that news can actually fit in, and then leave everything else. So definitely we know there are many things which can be left in the entire newspaper, be it politics, or if it is about, let's say, sports also. But there are some things which are very, very important, like the business section of the newspaper or the international relations section, even science and tech for the prelims part specifically, or the data. So again, we can look at very small things like collecting the data, collecting what is being said by different prominent people, and that will help us to cover newspaper in less time and more comprehensively.
So, what comes from your communication is that the syllabus, all the segments of syllabus, if you are clear about it, then you can correlate it well and identify what is relevant for and not relevant for you. But if you are jumping into read newspaper to read like a common reader, it may not help you. So, yes, keeping eye on the previous year questions and also on the syllabus, the phrases and the words which have been used in different segments, that can help you a lot, right? One of the important blunder committed by the students is that they don't analyze or decode the syllabus properly, right? And then just simply start reading all the voluminous books. Did you also have this kind of habit in the initial days?
Yes, sir, definitely. I also did that blunder. That's why I think that I was able to clear only in the last attempt. So, not seeing the syllabus topics, and these days there's a lot more emphasis on reading current affairs only, and not emphasis. There's very less emphasis on the theory part of the syllabus. That's what also I feel. So again, I wasted a lot of time on just reading current affairs, and that used to consume so much time that I was not able to focus on other topics of the syllabus. So yes, this needs to be avoided.
There should be a proper understanding about the syllabus. You should decode the syllabus and then see the previous year question right from the beginning. That will keep you streamlined in the right direction. Otherwise, you might be lost in the jungle of books. So that will not help you. Correct? That is it. Himani, especially the notes making is also an art. Did you also have an art of notes making?
Yes, so I eventually developed that art. So again, I was in the initial days. What I used to do was whatever used to come, let's say on a topic in syllabus, I used to just write it down. I didn't even see that my even single point used to get very long. So notes making is definitely a very important art. We need to focus that on every syllabus topic. First of all, we need to have some notes. Then it needs to be only around 1.5 or 2 page, let's say, and it again needs to cover everything comprehensively. So it should have the positive side of that topic and the negative side as well, or a way forward, an introduction or conclusion, and then some data point on that syllabus topic. That's how eventually I realized that that's how notes should be made.
Very nice. Himani, how do you see the value of NCRT book in the whole preparation?
NCRTs are definitely very important. So, especially in the initial phase. So, rather than just jumping on to difficult books like it is there for GC Leong, is there for geography, or even Lakshmikant, let's say. If we start with basic NCRTs from 6 to 12, it will help us create a very strong foundation. And these days, I am seeing that the trend of the exam is also like that they're asking many questions, particularly in prelims, from NCRTs directly. And sometimes because there are multiple choices and it gets very confusing. But the right answer often is hidden in the NCRTs only. So NCRTs play a very big role.
And your fundamentals get clear from if you're not having strong foundation of the subject, then you may not be able to build the answers on around that. That is very important. So, do you suggest one should read more than one time NCRT books?
Yes, sir, I feel because you know when we read just for the first time, we're just trying to understand, just trying to grasp something, but we'll not understand what is exactly relevant or what needs to be emphasized upon more. So when we read for the second or the third time also, and the things start getting into our mind, it will definitely help.
That is very good. Himani, if we talk about the pre, because see, 3 pre you qualified, went to interview, 3 you could not qualify, right? So, what cautions and what kind of strategies or tips you would like to give to the people that they ensure that they don't miss out in the preliminary examination?
I think first, definitely covering the syllabus properly. Then second would be giving mock tests, and not too many and not too less. Sufficient amount of mock tests need to be given. That I did not give in my first attempt, and then I just gave the exam, and that was a blunder. So that is second thing important. Thirdly, mock tests will also help us to get better and better on the elimination techniques that can be applied in the examination hall. It is also very important that often when we attempt mock tests at our home, it gets very comfortable. So if we try to get out or maybe give mock tests in some coaching institute. That will also help us to give the mock test in a very simulated environment. That will also help. Again, attempting sufficient number of questions. Again, in the first attempt, I attempted less number of questions. I attempted, I think, around only 60 questions. So that was also, for me, it was not the right number of question I should attempt. So that is also, that can be developed, that what is the right number of question you should attempt. Mock test will help. Confidence, I think, is very important. That again was the make or break for me. Every time I did not clear, it was because I was not feeling that confident. I had probably a mental distress also, because two prelims I gave just after not getting my name into the list, and then I gave prelims in 1 or 2 months after my interview result came. So building up the confidence, giving yourself proper time, I think that is also very important. So in my last attempt, I cleared prelims with a decent margin. So that was, I feel, because I had that confidence, and therefore I could actually judge that what could be the right answer to the question.
So with a very positive framework of mind, where practice, revision, and also just working on all the questions of previous years, these are going to be very helpful according to you, right?
Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Jain and I have secured rank 4th in UPSC Civil Service Examinations 2019. I have given my mock interviews in Chanakya RAS Academy, and the panelists there were from diverse background. It was really helpful and helped me during my interview preparation. I also talked to the members personally, individually after the interview about my weak points. So it was a really wonderful experience and has helped me achieve this great rank.
How do you see the all qualities required in the main examination, which makes one different from the approach of preliminary examination, and what you call as a relevant approach of writing, quality writing? So what is your experience to share?
I think firstly we should have the quality content for writing the quality writing in the mains examination. So quality content would mean that you, in your notes itself, you have very comprehensive notes. You have a definition, let's say on a topic. You have introduction, again introduction, which is adding some value to the answer, and not just appearing to be very general kind of introduction or body. As is always said, that we should write committees, draw some flow charts also in between, so that will also help us give an edge and differentiate our answer from the rest of the other. Because everyone is writing, but it is about differentiating your answer from the others, which will help you get the extra marks.
This can be developed with more and more of practice and thinking on that. For the people who are planning to take subject economics, of course somebody has a background, then Lali can do better in economics as an optional subject. So what tips you would like to give for optional subject economics?
So definitely I feel that economics is a very technical kind of subject. It has a lot of theories. So having a background will definitely help. Even if one does not have a background in economics and still they want to take it, they should, I think, first try to read 1 or 2 books, the theory portion. That will help them to, understand whether they will be able to manage this optional or not. Then after that, I think if you have a background or you get a good grasp of the subject is not that difficult. So paper 1 has mostly theory and paper 2 is mostly Indian economy and current affairs. So blending the two, so in, let's say, paper 1 theory, and then combining it with some of the topics of paper 2 will help us to score better. And similarly in paper 2, if we combine the current affairs in our answers with the theory of paper 1, that will again help us to write better answers and score well in this option.
Himani, I would like to especially know from you about your experiences of civil services personality test. Alternatively, you have been going in personality test. So how was your marking in your first, second and third interview? Can you just give me a bit of idea about that?
Yes. So at interview stage, I was scoring decently in all the three stages. So in my first interview, I scored 176. Second interview, I scored 179, and third interview 187 this time.
So it was progressive. It's not going up and down. At least personality test, you maintain very much uniformity and progressive thing that, right? So with all your three experiences of UPSC interview, right? What would you like to share? What exactly the board, UPSC board wants to see in the candidate?
I think that one is a positive mindset. Second is confidence. That is something they like to see. At the same time, humbleness and politeness, because they are very seasoned people and they are experts in their field. So they would like to see a person who is confident at the same time humble. Third, I think even though it is said that it is a personality test, and mostly it is a personality test, but if we have the right knowledge, if we have covered the different topics or the current affairs properly, that will also help us to perform in a confident manner in the interview. So reading a bit for the interview will also help, and definitely being thorough with the DAF and whatever you have written, and not kind of lying on those things, and staying true to everything that is written on the DAF. So that will also help.
Any interesting moment where you had a different type of questions and then you thought that you are in any puzzle situation which you might have faced in interview you'd like to share?
I don't think that I had a stress interview. In my first and third, it was very comfortable kind of interview. Second interview, it was some kind of stress interview, but still it was manageable. Maybe I can share an interesting moment in the third interview. So I had written as one of my hobby watching Bollywood movies, and recently Gangubai had got released at the time of my interview. So they asked me whether I had seen that movie, and I had to say no. So I had not seen that movie. So that was something. But the trick is that you still stay confident and keep up your confidence even if you have to say no on something. So that is something I remember.
Just to conclude your discussion for the day, if I ask you to give in point form, we conclude this interview today, what would you like to give in point form to the students for this preparation?
One is sticking to the syllabus and then revising your notes repeatedly over a period of time. Second is staying positive and motivated by surrounding yourself with people who actually support you and do not demotivate you. And third is, I think, staying confident, believing in yourself, and if possible, then also trying to have a good backup. That will also help us to clear the exam ultimately.
Very nice talking to you, Himani. I hope your experience will help a lot to the students, especially those who failure and those have a tendency to give up quite early, right? So wish you all the best, and it's going to be definitely good for you in the whole career. You are a struggler, and you have a fighting spirit. So thank you very much for coming in this program today. God bless you. Right?
Thank you so much, sir, for having me.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.